welcome to Happy Catastrophe. I'm Candace, and this is drumroll completed pages for June 2023. And oh my gosh. So my goal every month is 10. I did 20. Even I can't believe it. So let's get started. So I have two changes this month. One, I have a new light, a ring light, and I'm going to have to get something to put here so that doesn't reflect. That's the other change I have. One of my baby chickens, hens, has turned into a rooster. So Poppy now identifies as a rooster and is learning how to crow. This was the only time today I had to do this, and it's not nighttime, Poppy. Poppy still doesn't understand when it's the right time to crow. So we may have a little bit of crowing in this video, but if I don't do it now, you'll stop in a minute, I promise. I got the chicks when I thought I had a solution for them in place, but that fell through. So I'm building a coop outside, but it is hard just being me, and it's taking a little bit longer than I wanted it to take. So hence the crowing chicken inside the house. So let's look at what I did for June. This is, and I'll be doing another video on this. This is my coloring journal that lasts me from last year, August 2022 to June 2023. And I have transferred a lot of stuff over to this one. This is my coloring journal for the next 9 months or so, however long it lasts me. And I will show a video on what I'm doing with this. I made a couple changes. But here, if we look up June, oh my goodness, look at all those pages I did. So this is not, for some folks, this would be horrific the way I do this. It's not very organized, but for me it works. I had goals of always doing 10 pages, and I did 20. That's crazy. I wanted one buddy, and I did 4 buddy colors. And I wanted to be involved in one buddy group. Group color along, and I did two. I wanted to do 2 hashtags, and I did 4. So that's looking really good right there. By June 13th, I had already hit all these goals. I was just a coloring maniac in June, and they weren't like easy pages either. I don't know. I just got into a roll. I wanted to put out 5 videos, and I only put out 3. I was a little low on the videos, so we'll get that. We'll be working more on that. It's just very warm, and I have the chickens inside, but it's also very warm right now, and I have to turn the air conditioner. I have this little plug-in air conditioner for my cabin, and I have to turn it off to do these videos. And on my days off, I've been really busy building a coop, so I haven't been able to do as many videos as I normally do. I wanted to start my new coloring journal and get that going, and that's done. And then I did some destashing. I destashed 7 books, and those were all AI and Shutterstock. I've decided I just am never, I don't want to support AI, but I also don't care for it. And I just find Shutterstock images boring. I promise he'll stop soon. I promise. I just want to do this before the sun goes down. But I don't, I have limited space and limited funds, and I just from now on want to support books that are done by real people, not a publishing company, that I can find the artist's name. They have a social media presence. If you message them, they message back, that sort of thing, like a real human being. So that's all I'm purchasing anymore. And a lot of these were purchased when I first started, and as many of you have found out, your coloring preferences have changed. So you no longer are interested in those books that you got so long ago and mass hauled. So I did a big destash, but I also bought some books. I colored in NB for me meant new books, but I got confused. I now call it UB, untouched books. But out of those 20 pages I colored, 7 of them were in untouched books. So that was pretty good. I like to do around 50%, but I just did a lot more pages than I expected. And then I counted my books that I have so far, since I actually hand write my books. It's all marked up because I transferred. I figure if I can't write the list of books out, then I have too many books. So I keep them in the back of my coloring journal, all the books I have, and I have taken those and put them in the new journal. That's why there's all those checkoff marks. So when I was doing that, I counted, and I have 113 books, which is way over my 100 book limit. So I guess we have to rethink that, but we knew that was coming. And untouched, I have 41, which surprises me because I color in so many untouched books every month, but I guess I just picked up more than I was coloring in for a bit. So it's 36% still have not been touched. Arg! Arg! I want to touch all of my books. One thing I've done to help me with my destash effort and to get down to just the books that I love is if I pick it up and put it aside that I'm going to color in it, or pick it up to color in it, and then I put it back, or I take it out for the month to color and then I put it back. More than 3 times, that book's got to go. I'm obviously not coloring in it. And I noticed that Miss Sweet's Crafting Therapy, she's doing the same thing. She pulls all her books out that she wants to do that month, and if that book stays in that pile for more than 2 months, I think she's got, or 3 months, it goes away. So that's one way I'm figuring out whether a book sparks joy in me or not. And so let's get started. Okay, you might see a little glare here. I'm trying to keep the glare out. Let's start off, and I've got my handy dandy book over here because there's so many and I don't remember what I did. Let's start off with this wonderful Margaret O'Brien book, Matchstick Mouse Springtime, of which, look what I did to the cover. I bent it. Oh, that kills me. Oh, I just hate it. It's not perfect anymore. I'm moving all my books as I went through them, did the, half a year went through and destash and all that. And this one looks like it got crunched. Anyway, so this was a buddy color with my wonderful friend Kate with Coloring with Kate. And she gave me some options, and of course I chose the one with cake. So this is what we did. I chose to make it kind of a dark, rainy day, and they were just inside having cake. And I chose chocolate cake. For some reason, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that, I knew that's a carrot on the top, but that this might be a carrot cake. I made it chocolate, which was what I was wanting in the time. When I show you Kate, you'll see that she actually made it a chocolate cake, which makes so much more sense. So this is all alcohol markers. I use Copic and Spectrum Noirs, but mostly Copics. There is acrylic paint pens on here. Acrylic paint pens, the ones I have that I really don't like, but they're all, look at that. I use this to stir paint with. That's actually not food. So this is all acrylic paint pen around here, just getting rid of the lines. I kind of went crazy with it. And then some Posca white pen for the accents and to make the rain, which kind of looks like rain. I'm still working on that. Yes, so it's my dark rainy day. That's a picnic. And here is Kate's beautiful picture. Her picture is so gorgeous. We've been doing a Matchstick Mouse buddy color every month for a while now, and I'm really enjoying it. This month in July, we're going to do one out of the summer book because spring is officially over. Okay, and then I went on to the Enchanted Animals special from Coloring Heaven. I do not have any Coloring Heavens except this one because this 100-issue celebration is Kanoko Agusa, who I love. So I had a hard time choosing, but I kind of went, well, I was feeling really dreamy and comfortable that day, and I decided I wanted to go for this picture. So what I did here was alcohol markers again with acrylic paint pens for going around, and just experimenting with using different colors on the edges, kind of the way I do glass, to just give it some interest. You know, these pink clouds kind of reflecting in it. There's a lot of pink. I tried to stay with just this color palette of pink, purple, and greenish blue. And if you can see it, there, all the greenish, the trail here is all sparkly with Wink of Stella, which is very camera shy, hard to capture. In person, there's a lot of sparkle. And then just kind of went on. I did the trick I learned in Tatiana Bogema-Stolova's Nice Little Town Halloween in coloring something dark and then coloring it in the same color family but very light around it, which makes it look like it's glowing or fantasy kind of. And then the kitties. I love to make an orange kitty. This is more of a brown tabby though and a gray tabby. I kind of want to make them look like they'd be in the same litter. And they're in their little rocking kitty bed, sleeping away. Yeah. So this was my Koko Gusa picture, the first one out of this book. And I just really, really enjoyed it. This paper is, you know, thin and weird, but alcohol markers work so well on it. So, another sleepy kitty. I'm really looking forward to doing more out of this book. This book is unbelievable. And that's Koko Gusa's version of Coloring Heaven Enchanted Animals Special, 100 issues. All right. And then I got tired of the cute. I decided I need to get to some of my favorite coloring, which is the spooky. And the Creative Haven 100 issue special was a new book for me to get into, and so is this one. This one was also purchased this month. And it is Fausto Bianchi. Now, Fausto Bianchi, or Bianchi, he does it's called Atlantis coloring book that some of you have and really like. And it was funny, I was watching, it was like colored by it was somebody who doesn't do spooky. And they had the Atlantis, and they're like, ooh, this Fausto Bianchi. What a neat artist. I need to look up and see if he's done any others and get all of his books. And I'm like, whoa, oh, you might not want all of them, because this one, and there is a flip on my channel in which I basically scare myself, is spooky. So I knew the one I wanted to do right away though, and that was this. So this is, as you know, this is a circus. So this is all just some crazy nightmare circus. There's lots of blood and organs and half bodies and dead people, and I mean, it's really scary. And this one is probably the least scary of them all. I mean, at least there's no blood or guts, right? And sorry, I'm trying to get it all in there close enough for you. And so what I did, and see her, oh my God, she freaks me out even now, and I colored her. I'm the one that colored you, and I'm still scared of you. I decided, I started with the hair. And I had a different idea for this. And I thought I would make this into, like, I don't know, is that a man? Is it a woman? Does it matter? But it's going to have some, I thought of it as an old woman at first. And I thought, I'm going to give this old woman ridiculously young looking hair just to give it as part of the creep factor. Like maybe she's hanging on to her youth. And I was making a story along that way, kind of a creepy House of Horrors type you know, American Horror Story type thing. But then, and I did this, and I really, really love how the hair turned out. That's all with alcohol markers. All of this is with alcohol markers. And basically, that's it. There's a little bit of, I think I've got a little bit of glitter pen somewhere, but it's pretty much all alcohol markers. And I had so much fun with this. And then I started doing other things, and my idea for this person changed. And I wanted to make the neck plate look like it might be metal or wood. And I wanted to give it a really limited palette. I loved the greenish sky, and I put a lot of green in their faces. Oh, isn't that scary up close? What? Nightmare fuel. And I put green in her with her red rimmed eyes, and gave her, you know, colored her hair so that there were highlights on it coming from, I don't know where, because it's a dark sky. And then make the skin, you know, gross, and the nails gross, just the whole thing. Make this person look really kind of dingy and gross, but yet made up. And when I got done, I don't think the hair goes anymore. It's a different story now, but I don't mind it. It's the hair kind of clashes with the neck piece now, but I'm okay with it. I actually am fine with it. It's kind of weird in a disconcerting way. It kind of jars. The two clash and kind of jar, which I think is okay for this spooky story. These trees were already there. I just alcohol inked over them. My alcohol, this marker was kind of running out, and so I went with it, and that made it look like, you know, it made the sky look a little more realistic, I think. See, this is all different shades of gray, alcohol markers. And different shades of tans and blondes. The face has got just really minimal work. The white of the face is the white of the page. So I just basically colored the outlines with grays and greens. You know what? There is no glitter on this page. This page is simply just alcohol markers. And that's what I love about Mythographics and Mythagorias. This paper is perfect for alcohol markers. It doesn't suck it up really bad like the Koko books do. It just is thin enough. I mean, it just works. The other side's cool too, isn't it? And it goes pretty quickly if alcohol markers are your medium, they're my favorite medium. So the picture like this goes fairly quickly. It only took me 2 days to do this. So that's what's unleashed the Kraken. And I basically just went bonkers this month with a lot of alcohol ink pictures, and I think that's how I got to 20. But anyway, this is a new page out of a new book to me, and I love this book. I know it's really scary. I know it is. But you're going to see a page out of this probably almost every month for a while, just because it's so challenging and fun, and to really get in there and give it the creepy factor that it's due. So, and this artist is phenomenal. His other book, Atlantis, is a delightful book. But if you like creepy, I can't recommend this Mythagoria enough. So that's Nightmare Cabaret by Fausto Bianchi. So, because I thoroughly scared myself with the last one, but found myself hooked again, because every time I do a mythographic, I'm like, more. This is the perfect paper and the perfect drawings for me. I went to one of my two favorite mythographics that I own. My two favorites are Cosmic Spirit and Aquatic. Aquatic, I think, is Joseph Kattenbang, and Cosmic Spirit is Fabiana Attanasio. Lots of you have this one, and lots of you are coloring along with my hashtag Color the Tarot series. If you're interested in that, that's on my channel as well. And a lot of us are using this book and coloring through it. So I decided I would start with the card that we were just finishing up, which was the Empress. So this is what I did. And Fabiana gave her this drippy stuff, which, could be anything. I interpreted it as ice. It could be moss. But I made this sort of a cold picture. And I had just done all those warm colors in the Mythagoria, and I decided to go cool here. And I just wanted to I'd actually started with the crystals, and then as I got to doing the hydrangeas, I decided I wanted to do just kind of a blue and gray palette. So the crystals really stand out. I wouldn't have put that yellow in there if I would have thought about the palette ahead of time, but I didn't, so there you go. It's all alcohol markers. Yeah, there's nothing else in here but alcohol markers. And I just love this woman. I don't understand how she is the Empress, although the Empress, because the Empress is not as connected with nature like that, but she is who she is, and that's what I did with her. So I did every time I do my crystals, they come out different. Pink, blue, and yellow are a favorite triad of mine, but these look completely different from anything I've ever done before, so I have no idea. I don't know. I don't really know how to color. I just make things up. Oops, sorry to bump it. And then I made the little wolf coyote thing, coyote fox thing, blue. I just did everything blue. I was a little concerned about those blue leaves being too dark, these leaves here, but I kind of like it now. It kind of flows. Because Fabiana is such an incredible artist, you know, she's got the whole triangle thing going on here, which is very a nice, soothing to the eye type of formation, composition. In composition, this whole triangle is nice. And then here again, too, going up. So the way she's got this positioned, it's really hard to make her pictures look bad because they are drawn so well. So it's just a joy. But when I finished this one, I couldn't stop. I just had to keep going. And so I turned the page and I did, not that one, but I did the High Priestess. Now the High Priestess, she is a conduit of information. And we did this card. I filmed this card a couple months ago, but I hadn't done any pictures of her yet and I hadn't really worked with her much. So I decided to do this. And she is done in alcohol markers, but there's also some shiny glitter pen on this one. And I thought these air plants kind of looked like they were deserty. So I made it all sort of deserty colors. So again, I switched up the color palette because I get bored quickly. And these are warms again. And I went completely different. I made the clouds tan and the sky like this green gray. And I was basically just going for a continuity in the colors all around. And then for her, I wanted her to really be different. I wanted her to stand out. And I knew I wanted her to have pink makeup and hair. I changed the look of her horn, of her headset, her head, what do you call that? Headdress. Many times. It was looking too much like velvet or something. So that's what I did. I tried to give some depth to the medallion there to make it look like it's 3D. And same with the, same with the hanging accoutrement. All the little crystally things. Yeah. I really liked this one. This is very different from what I mostly do. I don't normally work in this color palette. I mean, purple and pink, yes, but this sort of like not monotone, but beiges and browns. I'm like throw all the colors on the page type of gal. So this was a lot of restraint for me to keep it muted, and I really like how it turned out. I think it's one of the best pages I've ever colored, in my opinion, but I don't know. I don't know how to rate pages. I just know that I enjoyed the outcome very much, and I hope you do too. But I wasn't done there, so I finished the High Priestess, and I'm like, give me more mythographic. I don't know what was wrong with me. So for my 6th page, I stuck with this. And I'm like, well, there's some more pages back here I haven't done. And I did this one. Now, this one is, I have to turn the light up a little bit. We're losing our light a little bit. Now, this one is not a tarot card. It's just a beautiful picture of Fabiana's. And for this one, I went with for her, I tried to do a very minimal color palette. It's all just basically pale lavenders and purples. And then I added some yellow back there to the clouds and gold. But the highlight of this is was supposed to be the fish. I think the shiny swirls sort of steal from the fish. I spent a lot of time on those fish, making them look very realistic. Again, this is all with alcohol markers. And I loved the way they turned out. I'm glad I made them all goldfish, although I think they're betas, but I made them goldfish. And I love the way they turned out. And then I took this shiny gold Kiritake Ganzai Tambi gold and painted it, and I think they stole the show because they're so shiny. I love that gold so much. But I'm glad I did it. It makes you look for the fish now. And, looking at it flat without any light on it, these things don't shine. So you do see the fish more. But with a light on it, I think the picture comes to life. And I actually am glad I did the gold, even though that takes away from all that work I did on those fish to make them look so realistic. And then I kept her really flat. And I didn't want her to really be the star of the show. So she stayed flat while everything else went really realistic in 3D. I just kind of wanted her to be background, except for her jewelry, which also was done shiny. So I love this one. This was probably one of my favorites for the month, even more so than the High Priestess, just because I had so much fun making these fish look real, and I had so much fun with the gold. I just really liked this one. This one made me happy. And isn't that the whole purpose of coloring, is that this wonderful hobby of ours makes us happy? I just think she's beautiful. All right, so I was finally able to tear myself away from Mythographic, and I was approached by Fella Nation Art, who wanted me to do a picture with me, and we have no books in common except for this one. And I had completely forgotten I had this one. I hadn't finished rewriting my list of books yet and transposing them over to my new journal. And this one, I wasn't to the Koko Wyo's yet, so I had forgotten I'd had this. And when I was going through my books, I found it, and I immediately got a hold of her and said, I have a book that you have. And so she picked the picture, and it was great because this was an untouched book. So excited. And it was my first buddy with her. And we did this one. And I am really loving doing the glass. I'm having fun experimenting. I don't yet really know how to do it. And this is an example of that because I didn't do the thingies right. They're so uniform that they look more like, I don't know, like maybe some birds flew over and pooped on it rather than reflections of glass. I just keep seeing bird poop, especially that one. So I don't have a technique down yet. I just sort of stumble onto good pictures or not so good pictures. If I do a good job with glass, it's always an accident. I'm not quite sure how I did it. So one of these days I'll figure out how to do glass and get more consistent. I still am doing, though, that multicolored, like it looks like things are blurred on the side, which I do like. I think that does give the idea of that, you know, that layer, that thick layer of glass. I think that works. I don't know what happened with the bird poop / reflections there. I did do a stencil in the background. This is a stencil I had with some distress ink. I think I used honeyed marigold or something like that. Dried marigold, I think it was, for the coloring. And then everything else, except for the bird poop, which is done in Posca, everything's alcohol markers. And this was so much fun. I like Koko Wyo books, although I'm not so sure. I think they transitioned to AI towards the end, right before they got yanked from Amazon. So I don't know when that happened, and I don't know if this is AI or not. But I do love the paper. I know people hate the paper, but if you're an alcohol ink, it sucks it up and it changes the color a bit. But once you get used to it, it's so easy. So I actually like Koko Wyo paper. And let me show you Fella Nation Art's beautiful page. Here it is. Isn't that great? So much fun to do buddy colors, because then you get to see, you get some time spent chatting with them personally, and you get an opportunity to see how someone else colors, and you get yourself into books that you didn't even remember you had. So thank you so much, sweetie. It was really great, and I hope we get to do another one. But then my addiction came back full swing, and I was like, give me some Cosmic Spirit again. And I went back to this book. So I did 4 pictures in this book this month. I usually do 1 mythographic a month. To do like 5 is crazy. And I think I did another one. So I think there was a total of 6. But anyway, so this is the 5th mythographic Mythagoria picture I've done, the 4th out of this book. And I have been behind on the Zodiac Color Along hashtag that was Pisces, that was not this month, that Kate is doing with Coloring with Kate. And they're on to Gemini. And I decided that since Gemini is also during Pride Month, that I would do Gemini as Pride. I should have marked it. I did not realize it was this far in the book. And I gave it Pride colors. And here it is. Now, this is a hot mess, but I'm kind of partial to it. I wanted to make the background the traditional rainbow pride colors. So there's, and it's a combination of alcohol markers and acrylic paint pens. So, red, yellow, Roy G. Biv type stuff. And then I made the Gemini a kind of a blue silver so it would stand out. And then I decided I wanted to make the kitty cats the trans pride colors, which are this pink and blue, these muted pinks and blues. So I made them more trans pride and the rest of it the traditional pride. And then the moon just sort of came out. It's just there so you can see it. I threw some more blue of the trans pride on it. And then it was looking strange, so I started doing a lot of this acrylic marker to bring the kitties out, and then I used, some shiny stuff here, and it kind of looks like a couple of paint cans spilled, maybe, like you were walking through your art room and you kicked some stuff over. But I'm partial to it. I like it. And it's an effort. And it was my contribution. She has, Coloring with Kate has this hashtag. And I was participating every month, and then I missed a month or two. And so I'm trying to get back onto it because I really do enjoy coloring out of this book. And this one or the Crook Dark Zodiac are the two that I tend to color for that hashtag. But I didn't care for the Crooks Geminis. They really scared me this month. They were all like people connected and third eyes and eyes in people's cheeks, and it was really creepy. And I decided I'd done enough creepy at the moment, so I did this. So this is my Rainbow Pride Gemini. All right. I finally think I got the mythographic out of my system for a bit, and I decided I should probably work on a group buddy that I'm involved with this book. And Pixie, if you're watching, I know you just bought this book, come join us. This is Magic Dreamland by Mei Zhang. It can be difficult to find. It can be easy to find. It goes in and out of stock. I think I got this off of, I didn't write it down. I got it in January. I think I got it off of Amazon. This is a beautiful book. The paper is challenging, I find. It's coated or something. I don't know. Weird things happen with the paper. It's cream colored. I've done a few in here, but and we do a picture out of this every other month. So like 1 month we did this one, and you've seen this. I've shown it to you. It's all sorts of shinerific. And there's little titles on each one of our pages. So this one's called Send You a Wishing Tree, and it's all people who are dreaming and with all this beautiful artwork. It is a gorgeous book. If you can figure out how to work with the paper, it's a gorgeous book. Actually, I used eye makeup on the back here. This is fixed, so nothing comes off. I fix all my pictures. And the picture is chosen by the group or the group's leader. Doodle Robot is the one who runs this one, and this is the one we did this month. Now, here is an image of what the page looked like. And then this is what I did to it. So I use this book to practice. I use this one in my other buddy group that I'm involved in to practice heavily altering pages. And the more I looked at this stuff, all I could see was a lava lamp when I was looking at this page. It just, with these bubble things and this stuff, it just looked like a lava lamp. So I decided to paint over all this and make it into the shape, sort of. It's a little wonky. I'm a little crooked. Of a lava lamp. And I used black acrylic paint to make the shape. And then around here is blue acrylic paint, a dark blue, and then black kind of over it to give it kind of a blue-black sky. And then white Posca for the stars. And then inside, of course, there were different colors of lava lamp back in the day. Mine was always these reds. I think I had a green one too. I had a few of them for a while there. But this, so I decided I would, this is all done with, before I tell you the wrong thing, with gouache and acrylic. So these big things were probably acrylic. I know the black was acrylic. I think that blue's gouache though, because that's too pretty of a blue. I don't have any acrylics that color. But I used the rest of this was gouache. And so what it is I started, you know, with the yellow around her and just kept mixing the colors to get these, you know, graduating out to orange. And then my gouache has a really beautiful red. So the gouache I use is the Himi gouache, H-I-M-I. It's, I love it. I love it to pieces. And I haven't tried anything else just because it works so well for me. And I just made it like a lava lamp. I fussed with what colors to make the person, but I decided just to keep it all the same colors. Now this one I think I did better on. I think these do kind of look like reflections and not bird poop. I don't know what the difference is, except it's not so symmetrical maybe. It gets a little bird poopy here, but I really enjoyed this. I'm learning to like working in this book. At first I didn't because I couldn't figure out what mediums to use that worked. But I have found that acrylic paint works great. So that's kind of where I'm going at now with this. It's double-sided, so I can't use alcohol markers. I haven't found that water-based markers for me. I don't really know how to use them well, I think. They just aren't working. And watercolor paint was doing something weird on it. So I'm using acrylic paint. So that's my lava lamp. I have so much fun. And if you want to join us in this group, buddy, this is something I started and never finished. I was experimenting with all kinds. This is acrylic paint. This is eyeshadow. This is probably started out to be glitter pen, but I think I ended up putting the Kuretake Gansai Gold over it. But yeah, this one's never finished yet because I don't know. I just fell out of love with it. But I do like this, and if you want to join us, it's every other month. You can get a hold of Doodle Robot, and if Doodle Robot's the wrong person, I'll put the right one up here on the screen for you to join our group. So every other month, and there's no pressure. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but we got lots of pages to do, and lots of fun. All right. And before I forget, let me show you all the other beautiful pictures. Brain needed a break, and I love this book. I think this is a lot of fun, super easy, especially with alcohol markers, and I think the pictures are nice. So I chose out of this Zen Doodle book, which is the Stained Glass Color by Number by Deborah Muller. I chose to do this one. Now I have done some quite a few buddy colors out of this book, and I'm always open to more. And this one, though, I don't have marked was a buddy color. So if it was, I'm very sorry, but I don't have it written that it was. So I think I did this all on my own one day because I just needed a break. So it's just a stained glass picture. It's got the flowers and the butterflies and the snail. I did this. Did I use my Sharpies? Yes, I used Sharpies on this, which I like to do with the color by numbers. My Sharpies smell really strongly and will give me a headache, so I have to do it in stages or only use Sharpies for part of it. But I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. I do like the greens that I picked out. Now this paper also sucks up your markers like something else. Oh, isn't that pretty? That's pretty. It sucks up your markers. So I think that's why I chose to use Sharpies, is because I just, you know, refill ink is expensive. Sharpies are cheap. So I had a good time in this. And I think I have more buddy colors set up in this coming up this month. So fun little book. And then this came in. Denise Klett has quickly risen to the top of my list of favored artists. And I did not have Mermaids in Paradise. I have Gnomes in the Neighborhood and the Sleeping Fairy one, Fairies in Dreamland. And I don't have the bird one that came out last year. I do want it. It's on the list. But I really wanted this one. And I wanted to get it for a mermaid, which is funny, but I didn't. But I did find a great mermaid picture in Gnomes in the Neighborhood and ended up culling that instead. But I just love her artwork so much. So I did my first page out of this. And this was a buddy color. So my buddy, Tammy Colors 2, Tammy picked 2 pages, which was quite ambitious. So I had to get started right away. And we did this title page, or this book belongs to page. Now, I've never done a books belong to page. This is the first one I've ever done. And the page looked like this when I started. And basically, I just took a couple of stencils, and added this background to it. So there was a vine stencil I used, and then there was some circle stencils, I guess there's like 3 different stencils I used to make layers. And I used Distress ink and Distress Oxide ink. This looks like Poisonous Villain, is that what it's called? And then there's some picked raspberry in here, and there's some cotton candy, and there's just, you know, just some all different shades of pinks and purples. I used glitter and gel pens and probably just regular gel pens for all these flowers, of which there are way too many. Oh my God, that took forever. And then for her, which was a delight, I used also some glitter pens and alcohol markers, it looks like. Yes, alcohol markers. And she shimmers, look at that. Oh, she's so pretty. I don't make the fair skinned blonde mermaids very often, but it just seemed to work for this page. So there you go. That was the first page I did with Tammy Colors 2. And hers, she is trying to finish it. And if she finishes it before I edit it, I'll put it here. Doesn't she look like she's having so much fun on this swing, this tire swing? Then the second one she chose was the next page. She likes to go in order, as do I, very much so, and did this one. So this page is pretty much altered. This is what it looked like to begin with. And then this one gave me a little bit of trouble. And there's something I see that I was going to fix. Oh, well. I really wanted to make, I toyed around with a lot of different things with the ice. This is acrylic paint, so I was able to go over it quite a bit. And at first, I made it look more like the drawing. And then as I got going, I decided I wanted to make it look more realistic. So I just used lots of layers of lots of different colors, starting with dark and ending with light, to make it look like that sort of translucent, multicolored ice. And then I used various shades to give it more depth and make it look like it was doing the things that she had drawn in, because I'm painting over all of her lines. And then I chose to, see, there's the ice. I chose to make it a night sky, and I used Posca to make some stars and such. There's the ice, all done with acrylic paint. The walruses are done in gouache because I wanted to mix the colors. And so, again, I'm painting over all the lines, so I'm putting the shading back in to give them shape and dimension. Their earmuffs, everything is all acrylic paint. And then she is acrylic paint and glitter pens. I think those are glitter pens. There's a lot on this page. I kind of saw her as a snow bunny mermaid. I really wanted to give her that snow bunny look. Which is why her clothes don't match. Because basically that shiny pink and silver, that's her as a mermaid. But then her shirt was the last thing I did. And that wasn't quite the color I was going for. But I'm like, you know what? She's a snow bunny. She's got all kinds of colors going on. And then I made it so the water was you couldn't see through. In the original drawing, you could see this half, you could see through the water and see her tail and see the walrus. I really don't know how to do that look, especially in acrylic. So I just painted over it. And I started to do something different with this and then decided to make it just water too. And I forgot to paint over it and make it just water. So there's a weird spot in the water right there. But yeah, it's a strange one for me. But it was a strange picture for me. And probably on my own, I wouldn't have chosen this one right away because of all of this. This one colored thing. I knew I didn't want to do alcohol markers on it because you'd see all the lines, which would have been okay, but that's a lot of ink to put down. And, you know, alcohol markers are expensive. So I decided it would be paint. And it ended up being this. And, you know, I'm good with it. I like it. It's got some shine to it because she's shiny, but she's an Arctic type mermaid. So she's there with her walrus friends in the ice. Thank you, Tammy. So let's see Tammy's picture. Here it is, if it came through. And hopefully it does because Tammy is a fantastic artist. If not, once I get her picture, we'll post on Instagram. Yeah. So this is a fun book. And if anybody ever wants to do buddy with this, out of this book, I'm always up for that. Mermaids in Paradise. So that is 11 pictures, and here's number 12. Now, Amanda Colors puts on a hashtag every month with her AC palette challenge, and she randomly draws a palette out of the color cube system. And I have traditionally been doing using Matchstick mouse because, you know, they're small, they're easy. I started feeling like that was kind of cheating. It was just too easy to do any color palette with them. I needed to challenge myself. So for some reason, I thought I'd take on a Rita Berman page in a 4-color challenge that was not selected by me. So I had the color palette first, and it was this incredible array of moody blues and grays and black. And that's all it was. That's it. So I saw this, I remembered seeing a rainy picture in this book. And so I pulled this book out and I used, I believe it's all gouache. Yeah, with a brush. So this, even the little tiny stuff is done with a brush. So this is gouache with a brush. And here I did use some technique to do where you do the dark and then the light. I've seen other artists do this, that you paint a little dark spot and then when it's dry, puts a little white over it. And that helps you give the image of raindrops. But I was really limited in the colors. And so I decided to make it like a Tokyo night, a rainy Tokyo night sky. All done in gouache with a paintbrush. I think the hardest part of this was where to put the colors, since I had so few colors to work with. Editing Candace, make sure you put in the palette to show what I was working with. Yeah, so let's put the palette in here. So some gorgeous blues and grays, just a really interesting palette. And I think it gave it kind of a graphic novel look, kind of like it could be in a manga or something. I really enjoyed it. And I like the finished product a lot. I'm gonna do this again for this month. The color palette is, oh, I already started on a picture. Yeah, I'm challenging myself there too. It's more like reds and browns though, that one is. But yeah, Rita Berman. So another one down. I've only done 2 in this whole book. The other one, funny enough, was a color challenge. It was a 1 color challenge, and it was magenta. This has been in my intro for a long time, so you've all seen it. It's every magenta medium I had. There's paint, there's pen, there's glitter pen, there's everything. There's distress ink, everything in here. I loved doing this, but yeah, it was the magenta challenge. So it's weird that the only 2 pictures I've done in this book were both color challenges. Maybe that's what this book's going to end up being. Okay, and then I got on another kick to go back to some tarot coloring. I think I had just done or was going to do the Empress video that we did this month. And so I decided to do the Empress in this book by Alexis E. Thompson. This is a gorgeous tarot coloring book. If you don't have this one, if you're looking for a good tarot coloring book, I can't recommend this one enough. It's absolutely stunning. The book's falling over. It's absolutely stunning, and it's I've done a couple. I did this one. Here's the Empress. So this is the Empress, and I use, this is basically can be a 1-star, 1-star. Where did I get that? A 1-side page, because it's writing on this side. So I chose, I did, actually, I remember I did this before I did the video, because then I had to read it. And that was hard. But this is what I did with her, with the Empress. And she's very austere. And I wanted to make her kind of, you know, beyond middle-aged and very regal. And lots of shiny stuff. These are irises, and I chose to make them, oh, I looked up so many irises, and this is an actual type of iris. It's called, not abundance, it's got an appropriate name, and now I can't remember it. But they're kind of stealing the show, because I decided at the last minute to cover their lines with acrylic paint pen, and now they're so bright that they're kind of stealing the show of this page. I should have not done that. But once I started, you can't go back, so I did them all. Because now they're brighter than everything else. And they kind of overshadow her and all of her beautiful bling that she has. But I wanted to make her very much a part of the nature around her. So this also was a limited palette that I used. It was burgundy, greens, and yellows with the purple of the irises kind of blending in. I did make these similar to monarch butterflies. They aren't quite monarchs. I looked at a 1,000,001 butterflies, and these markings don't really match any one butterfly, but they were pretty close to monarch, so I decided to use the monarch as the example for these. Everything's done in alcohol markers except for what's blingy. Here's some Sakura black, the jelly rolls, the glaze. And then, yep, all that's acrylic markers. And then this gold is the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolor gold. It's just a watercolor. It's the most opaque, beautiful gold that I have. So it's the gold I tend to use the most. And then here's some more of that, but it's in the same palette, but it's the white gold. So it's shiny too. She turned out pretty much exactly how I saw her, except for these obnoxiously glowing lilies or irises. She turned out exactly like what I wanted her to be. So I'm very, very excited about this page. And that's the Empress. And it also felt good to be coloring along with my own hashtag. My own coloring. I'm not coloring ahead, but I just kind of bounce around with the cards that we've done with whatever suits my fancy. And this was an actual card that we were doing this month, and it felt really good after having just talked, to do this and then talk about it was really fun. So yeah, there's the Empress. And again, this is the Alexis E. Thompson book, Tarot Coloring. You can find this on Amazon. All right, and another hashtag by Amanda Colors. This is the hashtag Sea of Colors Color Along, and Color Along has a U in it. Every month, Amanda picks a page out of this book, and I join most months. And this month, we did this page. This book is so much fun. Again, the paper is thin and obnoxious. Some people really hate it. I did when we first started, and then I just embraced the alcohol markers because they were great in it. It's a thirsty paper. It's a strange paper. It's not soft. I mean, you'd think it would have enough tooth for pencils. I think quite a few people use pencils on it. I wanted to make a picture where the shrimp were pink and purple. And I also wanted to make, I could not, this is on Instagram, but I could not seem to get a good picture where it showed the shimmer of the wings of my little rainbow dragonflies. Again, I was in pride mode, so I was doing little rainbow butterflies with glittery wings. And I think that shimmer is, again, the Kuretake Ganzai. Yep. I just sort of did it in swirls over the alcoholic coloring. I have a lot of Posca in here, all these little dots. It was looking kind of plain, so I wanted to add some. I'm never sure how many dots are too many or not enough. I see some people put lots of dots and it looks so good, but I'm always a little afraid of the dots. Don't know how many to put, but I went dot crazy on this one. That's so fun. These pages, oh, and here's some more of that Kuretake Ganzai Tom B. Gold. These pages color up so quick and easy, and they're a lot of fun. So if you want to join a group buddy where your picture gets shown at the end of the month along with all the others, and you get a chance for everybody to see your name and stuff, this is a great way to do it. It's a fun community. Yeah, so that's my monthly group buddy with Amanda Colors, Sea of Colors Color Along, out of this wonderful book by Angela Gonzalez. All right. And then I decided I wanted no, I did not decide to do this. I received this as Happy Mail from Melissa Rose, who is a wonderful friend of mine on my YouTube channel. And she just out of the blue sent this to me. I love Eclipse books. I want a lot more than I have. You know, I have to budget. But this was one that I was really interested in because of all the chunky, cute things. So I was so excited, and I did a Happy Mail video flipping through this and just loved it. So I decided I would do a page. And Melissa, I'm so sorry for what you're about to see. Okay. I thought it was going to turn out to be a panda. Obviously, it's not. It's some sort of a brown bear who might have scurvy and rosacea. I don't know. This is so bad. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Melissa. Look what I did to the book you gave me. This bear is so sad. Oh, alopecia maybe? I don't know what's wrong with it. It definitely is not a panda. They call for all kinds of browns. So I did I used my dumb acrylic paint pens that I don't like. And I used every brown I had, but the browns don't really go together. So they were kind of bad already. And then it called for a cream face. A cream face? Like, what? And then all these was pinks, different colors of pinks. What was it? Pink and dark pink. Like, what was this supposed to look like? Because my version is awful, but what would a good version look like? Because a cream face with dark pink and regular pink blotchiness, and then browns. I don't know what kind of bear this is. I obviously don't have a good cream, but I don't even think a good cream would make this bear look right. So, Eclipse, educate me. What is this thing? So, maybe we'll just pretend like that was just testing things out. I'm going to move on to the chonky bird next. And, we'll just pretend like that didn't happen back there. That poor sick bear has moved on to better days. Oh my God. So you should see another picture from me for July out of this book. And at least I know it's going to look something like this, right? Anyway, Chonk by Eclipse, a wonderful circulism art book. These books are just fantastic. And thank you again, Melissa. And then while I was tooting my own horn by how many pages I was doing this month, I remembered, oh my God, I have a whip. In Mystery Island, of all books to have a whip in. I mean, come on. These pictures take like, what, 10 seconds to color? No, just joking. I'm sure they take longer than that if you do a good job. But for me, they don't take that long. And I had a whip in here. So I opened it up to see what I had done before. And this book is interesting because, you know, you can cut it up, cut all the pages at the end and put them together and make a poster. If I had room to do that in my cabin, I don't even have walls. I have logs, so I have no place to even hang it. It's a log cabin. But if I had room to do this, I think I would because it would be fun. But then I also realized that I color every page different, so it wouldn't really look good. It wouldn't look like a poster. It would just look like individual. It would look like a giant refrigerator door with someone's child's paintings all over it. So I'm not going to do that, but I did start at the beginning originally with the intention of that. And this was the first page I did out of this book, which was before I started a channel, which I thought, hey, that turns out pretty good. Again, alcohol ink markers, and this paper just sucks it up like these like spongy paper. It does suck it up, but it works so well on here, and it turns out so nicely, and it's got some Sakura glaze. So then I went on to the next one. Okay, this is the whip. And it will forever remain a whip, because once I looked at it, I was like, oh, holy heck, what was I doing? Okay, all right. So we have this. I thought I'd make purple frogs, but my purple leaked in a few spots and made these big blotchy things. And then the blueberries came out so dark, and then I thought, well, maybe I wasn't working very well with color families. Anyway, once I took a look at this, I'm like, I don't even want to save it. I don't like it at all. Maybe, I mean, really all it needs is just do something with the grass and this stick thing and then just call it good. Bye-bye. But it was just so, I was on a roll, and I was like, no. So I did the next page. I turn the page. You can, if you don't like something, you can always just turn the page and it goes away. These are our books. We are in command. You're not the boss of me, book. So I did this one. And it's funny because I have to look at the next few pages to figure out what this was. I didn't know what this was, but it's water, and that's a beach. Because if you look at the next page, he ends up out on the water. So see, there's the beach that's right here. So if you think of it as a puzzle, then you can figure out what's what. And so I was like, oh, this is a gate that goes to the beginning of a beach. And she's just doing some gardening. So the fun thing, the real challenge with this book is all the greens. It's getting all the greens, because I do give them, I do somewhat realistic. But then I'm having fun making the creatures. This is an axolotl, I think, or the salamander. I know there's a frog, salamander, and axolotls in here. I have fun making them different colors. So I kind of forgot about this book. I think because I put it as where I put books that have whips, and I've pretty much completed all my whips, and I just never wanted to go back to that. So it just sort of was in a different spot. But I really enjoy this as much as I enjoy any other Koko Wow book. So yeah, I'm always up for a buddy in this if anybody wants to do one. They are adorable. I've always thought these pictures were adorable. Stand alone, whether or not, you make a poster out of them. But yeah, it's a fun book. So that was out of Mystery Island by Koko Wow. So at this point, I'm on my 16th page, and I'm basically having an out-of-body experience watching myself whip through these pages and not having any idea how I'm doing it. I'm coloring so much faster than I used to, and I'm enjoying the pages and the finished product. So I don't know where 20 pages came from, but here I am. So I found this book. This is a book I hadn't colored in before, Mika Jelena, Be Yourself. This is a strange book. It's because it's fantastic paper. And it's just basically, where's the middle? Right there. It's just basically stapled together. So it's like someone just printed out pictures, one-sided, on fantastic paper, stapled it together, put it with a cover, and called it good. And I'm like, what? And when I found this book at a big box craft store, in fact, it's called Craft World, and I'd never seen her before, but she is a legit artist. Like, here's a picture of her. She grew up in the Ozarks, or no, she grew up in North Carolina and now lives in the Ozarks. She's always lived in the mountains. And she does acrylic paint on wood panels. And her stuff is displayed by collectors. I mean, she's a real artist. And then she made this incredible book on this fantastic paper, one-sided, with these pictures of these strong women who are just being themselves. And I absolutely love it. Now, I know this has become quite a fad of these kind of fantasy, gothic, steampunk, pinup type girls, but not many of them are this big on a fantastic paper, one-sided. So this book is amazing. You can use anything on this book. And the pictures are so unique and hand-drawn. There's just nothing like a hand-drawn picture. They're so much better. The quality is so much better than AI. If you put this up next to one of the bazillion AI books that has pictures just like this out there, it's just the quality can't be matched. You know, there's such a difference in the expressions, in the shape of the body, in the angles of the joints. So much better than AI. And I just love it. And so I looked through this. I think the reason I hadn't colored it before is because I have a really hard time picking a page. They're all, and again, this isn't really my style. I like scenes, I like fantasy, I like animals, but these girls just draw me in. And this is the one I ended up doing. So this little lady, I decided to do a very monochromatic look and to use muted purples with some muted pink in there. And I did her hair first. So it's purple and gray with some light lavender in there for her braids in the back. I think I did her hat first. I think that's where I decided to do the purples. I knew it was like a cheetah print, but I wanted to do something different, so I made it this muted lavender, and then it kind of went from there. And then I decided the whole body should be that. I went to her clothing. I decided to keep her face and her skin. This white is the white of the paper. I made her otherworldly white because she's got these elf ears. But then I took gray. This is all this is Copic. All of her is Copic. And so alcohol markers. So I took my gray alcohol markers and just did the shading. I gave her a nose, shading her on her jawline, and it worked. I think shading along her arms, but it's the white of the paper, and that's all I did. I knew I couldn't get the skin as pale as I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like not porcelain doll pale, but like weird otherworldly pale. So I just used the paper. Made her eyes a very light pink, her lipstick a darker one. And then I did this ombre effect on her wings and added the camera shy wink of Stella. So it's the only sparkly thing are her wings, and it's very subtle. I'm not a stickles gal. I don't like the stuff that makes the paper stiff or crackly or in your face. I really like the shimmer to be subtle. So Wink of Stella is one of my go-tos, and in person it's really pretty. And then this is all alcohol markers too, but I did use some of the Sakura Black Glaze for her the boning in her corset. Yeah. And then I was stuck because the background, it looked okay with just the white background, and it had this frame already. So I did the frame in a purple glitter pen. and this was white. And it's still just like, oh, it just needed more. And I was so afraid, because I was so happy with how she turned out. I was so afraid to do anything to the background, and I toyed with a lot of different ideas. And finally, I decided I would take a tiny little brush and do it in purple acrylic. And I mixed this color. And I used acrylic paint, not gouache. And I mixed it using blue, red, and gray. And until I got this dark muted purple. This was the purple I wanted, not bright purple. And then I took a tiny little brush and a lot of time and just painted all around it. And I used bigger brushes for out here, but I used apple barrel paint, which I like much better than folk art. I found that the apple barrel, no matter what size brush you use or which direction your strokes are, the apple barrel is always goes on matte and without any streaks. It's very solid. And once I did that, it was so worth the time. Oh my gosh, it was so worth the time I took, because that finally finished the page off. That really made her stand out as weirdly white as she is, and her shimmery wings. And I had so much stinking fun with this that I'm doing another one for July. And look at this. That is transparent. I'm still working on being able to do gauzy type clothing, so I'm not there yet. But these ladies are just so beautiful. But I decided in July that I would try a theme, and my theme is going to be summertime and also patriotic, because there's a lot of, I know Canada Day is July 1st, but and our independence, the United States, is July 4th. Of which we mostly just shoot off really loud, obnoxious firecrackers and scare the bejesus out of Jack. So I've decided to pick one of these tattoo-worthy girls. Isn't she awesome? Oh, I love this one so much. She's got so much attitude. But she didn't strike me as someone I could do in red, whites, and blues. So I was looking for someone I could do in red, whites, and blues. Isn't she gorgeous? This book, it can't. I mean, I think it was $6. And it's actually a publisher, Leisure Arts. Here's the ISBN number, $6. It's a real legit book put on a real legit publisher. Wait, maybe that's the number you need. I don't know. You get both of them because I don't know what number you need. And so weird that I found it just at this craft store. Maybe you can get it on Amazon. Hopefully it would be done the same old school way, just printed on great cardstock and stapled together. What a strange way to do it. There's no binding. I mean, it's just papers stapled together. But it's brilliant. And I'm thinking, gosh, more artists need to do this. No, it's not fancy at all, but wow, you get the kind of paper you've always wanted. This is the one I'm going to do for July. Because doesn't she just scream red, white, and blue and patriotic? So that's what she's going to be. Not that I'm really proud of some of the decisions. Ooh, look at this one. This one was another one I was thinking about, but I want to do her in some different colors. Anyway, this book is phenomenal. So if you get a chance to pick this book up, Be Yourself, or any book by Mika Jelena. I haven't looked into it. I haven't done a flip through because I haven't taken the time to look to see if this is available anywhere online. But I am going to. That's a plan. And if I can find it somewhere where you can purchase it, I'll do a real flip through and give her some more love. But she's amazing. And then we were hitting the end of the month, but I still had a few days, and I got this in the mail. And I was so high on, look at what I can do, that I decided to just get all cocky and like, yeah, I could squeeze in a Melpomene book, a Melpomene page in just a day. Of course I can. So I flipped through this and had a really hard time deciding, because they're all gorgeous and they're all a challenge, right? Like, what do you color and what do you color over? I think that's a big question for me because they're so busy. But I decided to pick one that I thought would be doable, and I did this. I've not gotten it on Instagram yet, so actually my Instagram game is a little slow this month, so a lot of these might be new. This is a snail. And it's all done in my brand new, purchased the same sale that I got this, because Amazon was having the 3 books for 2 price, and I got this book. They were having a sale on art supplies, which I stumbled upon. And I was looking at pencils. I'm not a pencil colorist, but because of arthritis and such. But I love my polychromos. I have like just a 24 set. And I'm like, oh, I'll go and see if polychromos is on sale. Well, they were on sale, but they are so expensive, even on sale. And I wanted to get, a bigger set. And we're talking buku bucks. I actually considered it. But, oh my gosh. I mean, that's like 2 months worth of groceries for me. It's hard to justify. So kind of in the same suggestion page, Amazon suggested this new 300 set of Color. And I went online and everybody was saying, yeah, I love Color. It's great. And I saw swatching and the colors were gorgeous. And so I could get a 300 set for $50 in this sale. I couldn't get anything else for $50. So I went ahead and bought it and like, okay, this will be they said they were soft. Since polychromos is hard, I did need a good set of soft pencils. They came in and I decided, and they are beautiful. I swatched them all. The colors are gorgeous. They are so creamy and soft and they lay down so easy. They don't hurt my wrist at all. So then I'm like, I'm going to put them on this page. Well, the colors are gorgeous. But I kind of struggled because this paper is so smooth. I don't know what y'all are using on this paper, but I can't imagine any pencils working, primo on this. It's just like smooth, like marker paper. So it was a little bit of a struggle with using those pencils, using any pencils. I tried a couple others just in corners and stuff, and they all kind of laid down the same. Can't get too many layers in. But these pencils blend so well that it really didn't matter. Even though I wasn't having the most wonderful experience with them, it wasn't the pencil, it was the paper, and they still came out beautiful, I think. The pencils, those Color pencils make it very easy because I am not a colored pencil artist. And I love this picture. I think they blended so well, as good as my alcohol ink markers blend. And I don't know what I'm doing with pencils, but it's hard to mess up when you've got pencils this much fun to use. And this easy to use with so many colors. Oh my gosh. So I had a blast doing this. I made it a night sky. I don't know what those pink things are, but they're fun. I had fun doing the water. I had fun with this whole thing. And then this postage stamp cutout thing on the outside, I used a metallic acrylic paint. Let me get a drink of water. I've been talking a lot. I've never done 20 pages before. This is an Arteza set of metallic acrylics. No, it's not. I like the Artezas. This is a no-name brand metallic acrylics from Amazon. They stink to high heaven and they're not great. You have to put on a lot of coats, but this color was perfect. So that's my page with my snail, the one that I decided to just brazenly whip out at the end of the month because I was riding this high of look how many pages I can do. And that was page number 19. And page number 20, I went back to mythographics. Every time I had a little conversation via Instagram with Elena from Coloring with Elena. And we both agree that every time we do a mythographic, we feel so good about the job we did and it makes us so happy and we just want to do another one. It's just something about my chosen medium works really good with these mythographic paper and I just absolutely love it. Now I've had, did Imagine come in with that 3 for 2? Yes, this is a new book. This is a new book because I haven't even written my purchase. This is new. I went back and started in that 3 for 2 sale, went back and started picking up other mythographics that looked good. And I didn't have this one from Joseph Kattenbang. And this one has hidden objects, which I hate, but I also just ignore. So this one has some neat pages. And I decided to do the first one because I couldn't decide. And so I did this one. And this is a little hard to see what's going on. It was hard to see when I was coloring it, and I don't think my coloring made it any easier. It's books with wings. And then the open book has like octopus tentacles. So these are books with wings. But I kind of did them all in a style that doesn't shade realistically, so it's hard to see what's going on here. But I do like the colors of this page. I once again use colors I'm not super confident with, which are, you know, tans and browns and muted colors. But I was remembering what I had done with that High Priestess page in Cosmic Spirit, and I kind of wanted to capture that again. So I used colors that I'm not as used to using. And I had a good time. And for the hidden objects, like there's a magnifying glass here. I just colored it the same color as the cloud, so it kind of hides in. There's a scroll here, and I decided I could color that and color it because that makes sense. There's an apple. I was like, all right, there can be an apple in that tree. I mean, some of them I color and some of them I just hide. There's an ink bottle, which makes sense. In this book, the hidden objects actually go with the picture. So it's not like the Kirby book that has the hidden objects where it's just like, you know, these random things that just thrown, you know, a cassette player and, you know, all this stuff that doesn't go with the picture. These do, so I just colored them in. But I had a really good time. I always love coloring octopus tentacles, and I try to use different color combinations every time I do. But again, this, you know, Mythographic just makes me happy to color in. So it's high on my list now. And seeing as how I mean, some of these, I mean, look at that. Joseph Kattenbang. I love Fabiana Attanasio, but I have to say for the Mythographics, Joseph Kattenbang might edge her out just a little bit. They're a little bit easier to color. They're not quite as fiddly as Fabiana's are, but they're just gorgeous. But anyway, so I decided since I'm obviously going to color a lot of Mythographics in my lifetime, I'll just start at the beginning of this brand new book. And that's Imagine by Joseph Kattenbang. Thank you all for coming along with me on this video and seeing my 20 pages that I did this month. Absolutely crazy. Let's see if I can keep that going for July. Thank you again for supporting my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.